interventions for mindful human flourishing. We are going to talk about this model, Krpan, and myself. So if we look at the literature on sustainability, there is a classic distinction between the target knowledge, which is about the future state, and transformative knowledge, which is about the ways and means we can reach this stage. So we have like the future, and we have the way we reach the future. And when we look at the target, we could think that in terms of sustainability, we have the Sustainable Development Goals. The thing is that there are 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and there are 231 indicators that are related to them. And then, if we want to reach them, we could even think of models in behavioral science that help us go towards this stage, and there are 83 different models. So at the end of the day, it does something that is a bit complicated, and then we want to navigate the results. For instance, we end up with this kind of map where things are a bit disconnected from each other. And the purpose of our approach was to try to see how we can connect them, which is quite challenging. The challenge, in the first place, is that we need to create coherence between and within the Sustainable Development Goals, which is more complicated, of course, as you may imagine, when you have 17 goals, 231 indicators, and more than 80 different models. And the second thing is that we need to think of how we can progress simultaneously and in a balanced way towards every Sustainable Development Goal. And these are the challenges that we consider when we develop the WISER framework.
So obviously, when we develop WISER framework, we notice that in the literature a lot of studies on sustainability tackle some of the Sustainable Development Goals, but it is rarely reported which goals, and it is rarely examined whether only one goal is tackled or more goals are tackled, or whether there is any coherence between these. And with the WISER framework, we, for that reason, try to simplify Sustainable Development Goals into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 categories, WISER, to make it easier for researchers to both kind of navigate the Sustainable Development Goals and examine to what extent their interventions actually tackle these different goals. So, as I said, we kind of summarized all Sustainable Development Goals into 5 categories: well-being, inclusivity, sufficiency, empowerment, and resilience. And now to give you one example. So you can see that for well-being we have SDG 2, which will be kind of material aspects of well-being, ending hunger, and SDG 3, which is about kind of ensuring healthy lives. But then we also have subjective well-being, and we have kind of sustainable management and access to affordable and sustainable energy. So SDGs 2, 3, 6, and 7. And now, instead of researchers kind of looking through all these different goals, they can just focus on this general category well-being. And what I even emphasize is that all our categories are compatible with concepts from behavioral science to make it easier for researchers to kind of navigate everything, and then they can examine their intervention and also plan their interventions to see, for example, if they tackle well-being. And we also provided some questions for each category. So, for example, for well-being, does this intervention bring people the resources, whether material or immaterial, that they are missing to live more healthily, to live more sustainably, and that contribute to their well-being? And as I said, we then have other categories. So we have inclusivity, the same idea, we have sufficiency. After sufficiency, we have empowerment, and after empowerment, we have resilience. So 5 very simple categories that correspond to concepts from behavioral science.
The idea is that if we take these 5 categories, we can also link them to several dimensions in behavioral science. So for instance, well-being might be an individual dimension, and then inclusivity is more collective, sufficiency is more ecological, empowerment is more grounded, bottom-up to something that is spatial and local, and resilience is more in terms of long-term perspective, which is temporal. So altogether, these different concepts can help envision several aspects of the behavioral intervention, and we can identify what is missing and where we should emphasize the research. If we consider something on well-being, for instance, then we might extend with inclusivity, sufficiency, empowerment, and resilience.
And ultimately, we want and we hope that researchers use WISER to both design their interventions in the way that encompasses several SDGs, and to more clearly report and review how their interventions contribute to several different SDGs.